Welcome to Charlie Jane Speakers Radio. This is the show where we share speaking tips, tools, and resources to help you grow your public speaking business. Our goal at Charlie Jane is to get you, the speaker, on the platform in front of thousands of people so that you can teach and motivate your audience, enriching and empowering them to lead fulfilling lives. And now, here's your host, Wendy McNeil.
Hi there, it's Wendy McNeil here with Charlie Jane Speakers. Thank you for tuning in to today's podcast. I'm so happy you are here. And as I always do in my podcast in the beginning, is welcome you over to our free Facebook group. It is a phenomenal group of speakers who are new, or just have the idea of wanting to start a speaking business. It's a group full of some that have been in there for several years, and some have been in there for 10, 20, and up years. So hop over to Grow Your Speaking Business on Facebook. You can get there. You can put into your browser SpeakingBiz, B-I-Z, community.com, SpeakingBizCommunity.com. I will also leave the link in the show notes. And so I don't forget, this podcast, I'm talking about why clarity sells you as a speaker. And I do have a resource that goes with this. It is, our team had created, I believe it's over 40 speaker templates on Canva. You can easily just plug in your information, use the template, put a few of your pictures in there, and you're done with some pretty professional marketing material. This is going to help you stay, clear on your message and being consistent. If you watched my last podcast, if you listened to my last podcast, I talked about being consistent. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that resource also in the show notes. It is free, and there's over 40 marketing Canva templates created just for you, my speakers. Okay? So today I'm talking about why clarity sells you as a speaker. There are plenty of aspects that I cover with speakers that I work with during the course of our time together. However, there is something I talk about right off the bat. I mean, as soon as I sit down or get on Zoom or get on the phone or whatever it is. So what's that one thing we talk about right away? And I talk about this all the time, again, to my ladies in Live Bold and Bloom Women's Speaker Group. Clarity is often the difference maker between a successful speaking business and one that is busy not making, any money. I recently spoke about the importance of being consistent, as I mentioned earlier. But without clarity, you can be consistently doing the wrong things. Let me say that again. Without clarity, you can be consistently doing the wrong things. So what does clarity mean in the context of speaking? Clarity as a speaker is actually easily defined. It's about clearly defining who you are, what you do, who you serve, your messaging, and your style. By simply being clear in this manner, you can save yourself a ton of time. I'm not kidding here. A ton of time, a ton of money, a ton of frustration. Yes, it's that simple. It's that simple. Again, I have been working with speakers and planners for 2 decades. It seems so long ago. But I have seen so many speakers not clearly defined themselves. They didn't really know who they served. They didn't know their audience. They go down the road a couple, a year doing circles, coming out very frustrated, spend a ton of money, a ton of time, of course, and then they quit. They just stop. I don't like to see that. Breaks my heart. So listen to me when I say clarity is extremely important. All right? It's that simple. And yet so many people fail to do it. Speakers can often start off with excellent clarity, like I said, and they lose track of their definitions, and soon becoming lost in the noise. Lost in the noise. As they stray from their founding principles to secure more speaking gigs. Why is clarity your ticket to speaking success? Why is that? Well, simply put, having clarity in place lowers the barriers to planners looking for speakers. For instance, if they are looking to book a speaker, one of the first places they are going to assess your suitability is your website, right? It's a given. Go to your website. So to demonstrate the power of clarity, let's take 2 website examples here, all right? Speaker clarity example number 1. A planner arrives at your speaker website. Woohoo! Yes, you got them to your website. And discovers that you have a clear and concise planner page. You have a downloadable one-sheet and a client list that closely reflects, their target audience. In this example, there is a clarity concerning who you are, what you do, who you serve. That will likely result in at least a phone call, maybe an email about your services from that event planner, or they are going to continue to learn more about you. Maybe that's going to watch some videos. Maybe that's checking you out on social, because they do go on social and they do stalk you. Okay? Nicely. Speaker clarity example number 2. In this scenario, the planner arrives at another speaker's website that is reserved in its design, and it appears to be aimed at corporate clients. However, the on-site one sheet only lists like wellness retreats as clients, and the speaker demo video shows, a flamboyant speaker more suited to a stage production than a boardroom. The lack of clarity in this latter example will leave a planner, kind of uncertain. Kind of like, what the heck's going on here? And let me tell you now, from over 20 years in this space, uncertainty kills a sale. Uncertainty makes that planner leave your website. Okay? Uncertainty kills any chances of getting a speaking gig. If there's any doubt in a planner's mind, they will simply move on to another website, another speaker, or set of social media profiles that, fill them with much more confidence. How do I build clarity as a speaker, Wendy? How do I do that? Well, your journey towards delivering potential clients clarity starts at the very beginning. Not a year, 10 years. Do it at the beginning. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it a year later, or 10 years. But if you're just starting, I want you to nail this spot on. Before you've even delivered a single talk, you need to decide who you are, who you are aiming to serve, what you do, and how you're going to do it. For some people, this is a relatively straightforward process. For others, it may take a little longer, to flesh out the details. However, once you have defined your niche, the hard work begins. You just have to stay true to your principles. Where I see most speakers going wrong is not long after they launch, their business. After growing impatient during the early days, many speakers start kind of muddying their clarity by trying to secure gigs in related but ultimately different fields. In just a few months, they have developed a client list that spans an entire sector, delivered a range of talks in different talk styles, including presentations, seminars, Q&A sessions, and on and on and on, and changed their style to suit each audience. This sounds impressive on paper, but it is disastrous for your business and practice. Suddenly, that clarity that you had at the beginning has gone into a cloud of smoke. Poof! Right? You get it? Planners won't think you're an expert in anything since you've spread yourself so thin. They will also be unsure of your style It's important, or whether you're a good fit for their audience because you've tried to appeal to what? Everyone. Speakers who have worked themselves into this trap then become, quote unquote, I don't like this word, but run of the mill. And they begin to chase their tail, circles and circles, going for quantity over quality to keep the business afloat. Often, they sadly tread water from there on out. I want you to remain patient as your clarity develops. This is not an overnight thing. This is a journey. Yes, sticking to your guns means taking a longer road to success. However, the difference is that once you get there, the road is built of rock solid asphalt, right? Not quicksand. By only accepting speaking gigs that fit with who you are, who you serve, and how you deliver your insights, you are going to build authority, credibility, and marketability with planners. Ironically, despite the early months often being barren in terms of, sales, it's the ability to say no to unsuitable gigs when you are first starting out that will help you attract fees as high as $10,000, $5,000, $10,000, a few years down the road. Clarity helps to define you as the go-to person for what you do, whether that's teaching mindfulness to female executives of high-pressure companies or helping parents dealing with child psychology issues. It doesn't matter. If that's what you do, then do not stray into other areas. Retain your clarity at all costs. I'm going to say that again. Retain your clarity at all costs. All right? COVID increases need for clarity. One final note from me on clarity relates to COVID. We all know about the effect that COVID has had on the speaking industry, right? With so many people relocating to the work from home model and launching their speaking business from their sofa. With the potential pool of speakers more extensive than ever before for planners, clarity has become even more essential. This is important to listen to me. You need to do everything you can to demonstrate you're a specialist in your chosen field. Without clarity, you can never obtain that objective. So no matter how tough the going gets, always remain clear concerning who you are, what you do, who you serve, and how you do it. Those who can commit, and I say stay committed, to clarity are the ones that reap the most significant dividends later in their speaking career. I want you to learn more about clarity from some of the best speakers around. All right? Achieving clarity as a speaker is a process that takes time. Even though you decide who you're going to be as a speaker one day, it can take a while to carve out your niche. And that period can be frustrating. I get that. I know that. However, the payoff of delivering unwavering clarity further down the line is well worth the wait. By sticking to your guns and keeping your message and your branding clear through those early days of your speaking career, you can attract huge sums once you have built sufficient authority and credibility within your chosen speaking space. All right? So, if you want to learn more about clarity, or, if you want some support, when you're kind of tempted to stray from your principles, from your message, and you kind of want to do the, hey, you know what I want you to do? I want you to tap into our free Facebook group. Again, I welcome you over there. It is free. It's called Grow Your Speaking Business. On Facebook, you can go there by going to speakingbizcommunity.com, speakingbizcommunity.com. Will also get you over to our amazing, you will not be disappointed, Facebook group. Okay, I look forward to seeing you over there. That is it. One more thing I'd like to mention at the end of the podcast is if you enjoyed my podcast and you have friends, colleagues, anybody that really could benefit from hearing this message, go ahead and forward it to them. And please go ahead and leave me a review. It'll only take a few minutes and it would really help me out. I would greatly appreciate it. And I am starting to kind of do a little promo you for leaving me a review on my podcast. So you have a few minutes, go ahead and leave me a review. I'd really appreciate it. And maybe I will personally thank you on my podcast. So thank you in advance, everyone, for listening into this podcast. And I will talk to you later. Take care. Bye.